Among the pile of dull medical articles and blogs with advice to meditate before bed, an old post suddenly surfaced with the title, "Don't sleep on your back. It will come."
I don't know if you'll believe me, but I don't care anymore. I just have to tell someone. I always thought that sleep paralysis was just a bug in the system. A mistake when your brain wakes up before your body. You lie there, unable to move, seeing strange figures in the room. A scientific explanation. It all makes sense. Until it happens again. And again. And it starts to feel too real. The first time it happened a couple of months ago, I woke up in the middle of the night and realized that I couldn't move. A typical story. The room was the same as always, but something was wrong. The air became thick, like I was breathing through cotton wool. Then I heard it. The creak of floorboards in the hallway. Footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Someone was walking towards my room. I wanted to scream, but my mouth wouldn't obey me. I wanted to move my hand. Nothing. Only my eyes could move. The door opened. Slowly. Very slowly. There was something behind her. Tall. Thin. Too thin. Too dark. It didn't come into the light from the street lamp as if it were avoiding it, and yet I knew it was looking at me. It stood there for a minute. Or an hour. Time didn't matter. Then it took a step into the room. And another. And another. I felt the mattress dip. It was close. And then it spoke. A voice, if you could call it a voice. It seemed to whisper inside my skull, enveloping my consciousness. You are mine. As long as you lie on your back, you are mine. I passed out. I don't know if I passed out or fell asleep. In the morning, I woke up with my heart pounding. My whole body was wet with sweat, as if I had a fever. I tried to explain to myself that it was just a nightmare, just sleep paralysis, nothing more. I have always been a skeptic. I didn't believe in ghosts, demons, or an afterlife. Everything had to have a rational explanation. But how could it rationally explain the same figure coming every night? That it said the same thing? Why wasn't it just a vision, but something that pressed on the mattress, the smell of which I could smell later? Damp, earthy, like old mold. I began to doubt. Was my consciousness breaking? Was I going crazy and my brain was just playing scary games that I couldn't wake up from? I started Googling everything I could. Hallucinations, microsleeps, epilepsy, schizophrenia. None of it fit perfectly. Everything was too vague. Everything was too convenient. Variations of it happened almost every night. Sometimes it stood in the corner. Sometimes it lay down next to me. Sometimes I felt it stroking my hair, as if comforting me, saying creepy, gentle things to me. How it will take me away piece by piece. That I am not all here anymore. I decided to set up a camera. I wanted to prove to myself that it was all in my head. In the morning, I reviewed the recording. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I am lying motionless. The camera did not record a single sound, not the slightest movement. And I felt better. Really. I slept peacefully for several nights, even on my back. It did not come, it disappeared. And I, to be honest, even felt like a fool. Like, yeah, okay. I scared myself, wound myself up, that's all. The brain can do such tricks. Everything was almost like before. And then, it happened. I woke up in the middle of the night with the feeling that someone was in the room. But there was no paralysis. I could move, I could breathe. I just lay and waited, not knowing what. And then I saw something tall and black slid to my window and, without turning around, seemed to dissolve into the night. I decided that it was the remnants of a dream, a visual phantom, still the remnants of stress, until I noticed in the morning the window was open, and not just slightly open. The sash was completely open, as if someone was leaving, not entering. It was too strange, too precise a coincidence. And from that moment on, paranoia began. I checked the window 10 times, fix it with plastic clamps, put papers under the handle to understand whether it moved during the night or not. I'm still trying to find a logical explanation. Honestly, I want to believe that it's the brain, delirium, fear. But sometimes I catch myself thinking that maybe it's not the brain that's going crazy, but simply that I started seeing what was always there, but before I was too blind to notice. When I was almost completely convinced that I was going crazy, and even resigned myself to the idea that it was probably time for me to visit a psychiatrist, I found an interesting forum. It happened completely by accident. I was searching for something like sleep paralysis plus obsessive image, just to somehow structure my symptoms. Among a bunch of dull medical articles and blogs with advice to meditate before sleep, an old post suddenly popped up with the title, "Don't sleep on your back. It will come." The post was more than 7 years old. It was written by some user with a nickname like Noctis Watcher. His message was long, confused, a little hysterical, but there was truth in it. He described everything that I saw. 1-to-1, a feeling of heaviness in the air, a tall figure in the shadows, paralysis, a whisper inside the head. Even the phrase was almost the same. While you lie, you are mine. I scrolled through the comments. There were many. People sharing similar stories. Different countries, different ages. But all of them described it. Some called it long, some that which stands. At first I felt better. True, I'm not alone. I'm not crazy. But then another thought came to me. What if it's real? What if it's not a collective madness, but a real phenomenon that no one is giving a go to because it's impossible to record with conventional means? I haven't written on this forum. Yet, I just read for hours. I follow new messages. But every day it's harder to distinguish paranoia from truth. Maybe it just wants me to believe, or maybe, on the contrary, to make me doubt. But here's what I know for sure. I don't sleep on my back anymore.